What is going on, y'all? Thank y'all so much for joining us. I tell you what, Restream has been glitchy as hell lately. There is nothing about there's nothing worse than going live and hitting your intro and it's not I don't know how. I'll have to ask Dan whenever he comes out, but it's not playing in Restream, but it's playing on LinkedIn and everywhere else. And so there's this little is the show glitching out. So anyway, that was my little moment just a second ago. What do I got going on, man? That kind of threw me all the way off. Not much to talk about, really. Uruguay. Wow. Welcome, Bernardo. Thanks for joining us, man. What's up, Chris Davis? Chris Davis is a longtime friend of mine. I've literally known this cat for 30 years, man. We met when I'm 43, we'll be 44 this year. So I was probably 13, 14-ish when we met. We're going to church together. So what's going on, man? Glad you're here. Yeah, the shaved look, man. I forgot my hat. I walked out of the house this morning and Smooth forgot my hat. So y'all get the whole Mr. Clean look today. So funny story. I was telling Dan this backstage. I went fishing with a buddy of mine who usually watches on YouTube, but he's my in real life friend. He's my fishing buddy. We were fishing on Saturday and he said, "So who's your guest on Monday?" I said, "Oh man, just this dude I've been connected to on LinkedIn for a long time. We've never talked. We're just going to hang out and shoot the breeze or whatever." And he started laughing. He said, "Man, what about that dude that makes all those crazy ass comments?" And I was like, "That's who's coming on the show, bro." So it was hilarious. So anyway, without saying anything else and without going into anything else, I'm going to bring out Dan Roth. What's up, brother? And Gabe. I'm gonna bring out Dan and Gabe. Where is Gabe? I need to tag him so maybe he'll see it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got this. It took me 5 seconds, because Gabe's tiny. I already won the bet about him showing up late.
Right? Yeah, because he's not here.
Yeah, I mean, but I give him a 2-minute grace because I figure he's 2 minutes with the event, but then after that, there's really
right. After 2 minutes,
I was thinking,
how are you doing?
It's funny. I was thinking, okay, this is going to be an interesting conversation. And then you started off by saying, "Hey, you need to bring on the crazy dude that says all the comments." And where do you go from there? Really, there, thankfully Kelly's in the audience. And so Kelly can at least attest that I'm not completely off my rocker. Most of the time I am, but seriously, when you talk about setting expectations, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's like when you go drinking for the first time and the first thing you ever drink in your life is hard scotch or taking some Papov through a Brita. It's only going downhill from there.
Ooh, yeah, right.
I am not keeping Gabe's picture behind me the entire time. By the way, I'm gonna have to take that down at some point.
I feel like that's gonna make for a great clip.
Well, it looks like he's okay. Y'all, just let me be very clear. I don't mean this the way it's gonna come across. It looks like he's fingering me.
Or he's about to anyway.
Yeah. Oh. No, Jack Daniels ain't real whiskey.
No, it's not. It's not.
We're not gonna, if we're gonna have a conversation, let's not. Let's get Gabe the hell out of there. So here's the funny thing. I do show up randomly in comments more often than not. The thing about that for me is it's a defense mechanism because my thing is I talk about such serious stuff every day, all day. And then I get to lives And it's like, okay, well, here's my chance to relax, especially when it's somebody like you or somebody like Gabe
Yeah.
that I've known for a while. So at that point,
I'm not going to take any kind of offense at what kind of wildness comes out.
yeah. So that's, I'll use this reference because it's the weekend. It's my WrestleMania, so to speak. And
Yeah.
yes, I did
Yeah.
watch, and I'm going to be openly admit that I watched.
Yeah.
It's my relaxation. But when push comes to shove, that kind of comment is a defense mechanism. It sort of sets people up with perhaps the wrong expectation. But that's okay. Those that give a darn to get to know me are going to get to know me, and those that aren't,
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, I care a little bit, but it's kind of like Hawaiian pizza. Like, toss it out and throw it to the side of this. But yeah, I think you're probably gonna face what I'm about to say a couple more weeks, but I think I could speak for the entire audience in saying our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. In that respect, let me take my hat off because I feel like it's a little bit more respectful. Also, it's hot. That's the main reason it's hot.
Is it?
Yeah. So I built out a professional studio, and I've got 5 different lights coming down at me.
Oh man.
4 monitors. So, and then 2 kids, a wife, and 3 pets that are all female. So I'm really under the heat lamp.
As if all the radiation wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You have like 5 other females in the house.
Yeah, I've with 3, 6, 2, a cat, 2 dogs, 2 daughters, a wife, all female. Yeah, and then the closest I come to having a guy in my life is my mother-in-law's dog, but shit, he's neutered. Hey, Tammy. Speaking of condolences, Tammy, thoughts and prayers are with you as well. Her good friend passed away from a heart attack a couple days ago.
Man, there's been a lot of people dying, dude. Like, not to bring the mood down, but one of my buddies that I did time with, he got out a year before I did, and I go down. He lives 3 hours away, so I go down there every couple of months and see him and his girlfriend and her kids. And her brother is a cop, and just out of the blue, he was off duty. They don't know yet because they hadn't got the autopsy results back yet, but there was some sort of medical event, they're assuming, because he just ran off the road and hit a tree, side swiped it, flipped around and hit another tree and died. Like, just for no reason.
Anytime, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry. Anytime you fuck. Sorry, I promised you I wouldn't say that one word. But, and I told you this offline, like the one thing. Oh shoot, Crystal's here. Now I have to be on my best behavior. Crystal is a dear friend and mentor.
Awesome.
But okay. Anytime it comes to accidents, it's very, very triggering for me. And I told you this offline, but my cousin was murdered in an accident. For the viewers, and I've mentioned this, but not in a long time. So the story is that he was in DC where he lived, and he went to a party. So he realized he was drunk, so he decided to sleep it off. So doing the smart thing, around 3 a.m. he wakes up, slept about 8 hours, sober, starts to drive home. Well, these 2 guys are speed racing, and they realize that they're going to hit. They go like this. They flip over the median and land on my cousin's car, going brain dead. My cousin wound up giving his he donated his organs to save others, and one of the guys was a social worker and the other was a firefighter. Took 6 years, and it's weird talking to you about sort of the system and how it plays out, because there's some people that deserve that. I don't want to say, I don't know how to put it. Like, what's the right way to talk to somebody that's done jail time about this kind of stuff?
Bro, just say it. Like, man, I have a very open perspective about the system. Like, I'm not completely jaded. I'm a little bit, I'm jaded, but I'm not so jaded to the fact that I don't see where it's good. So just, I have a wide.
Well, there's nothing good about it.
Okay.
Like Mike, my point is that it took 6 years for them to have the trial.
Yeah.
And then they got less than 3 years each.
No kidding.
Less than 3 years each. And the worst part, one of the worst parts, is at the sentencing. The judge looked at my uncle and goes, you know, I think if your son was alive, he actually would have got along and been friends with the guys that killed him.
What the hell?
That I watched it on closed circuit.
Yeah.
And like, I have a large family, and it was like one of those, what did he just say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, talk about ignorance in how you approach things. Like, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I don't say dumb stuff like that.
Right. Dumb, insensitive. No, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Shoot, I'm drawing a blank.
I know what you're going.
It's like no recognizance of what's really going on. Self-awareness.
No regard for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it very much was like that. And, you know, so anytime I hear about those car accidents, it becomes a big trigger. And like, even now, I mean, I was in a bad car accident 13 years ago, and I already had PTSD, and now this. Oh, Martha, a little bit. Wow. Yo, so many people are here today.
No, I know it. We've got 38 live. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was just up to 40. I mean, I invited a bunch of people, and I didn't expect to like get into this part of the conversation, but when you bring something like that up, it's
and I had forgotten about about your cousin.
Yeah, I mean, I told you 3 days ago, so you know you must still have something in your system. Don't tell us, parole officer, y'all.
I'm off parole.
Oh, I know. I'm just, you know, I'm just being a dick.
Yeah.
And by the way, everyone, I just, you know, I'm keeping track of this. 13 minutes in, and Gabe still hasn't shown up.
Still has not shown up. I tagged him on LinkedIn.
I could text him if I want to, but this is just really, really funny to me. Like, it's one of those things where I don't know. Like, you ever keep track of something so bad just to see how long it would go on? That's the situation with Gabe. I'm actively watching to see how long it takes until he shows up. Here's my bet. He's going to show up next week being like, where's Dan? Well, thanks.
Probably so. And that would be like a straight up Jacob Schwer kind of thing. Like, show up a week late and be like, hey, I'm here. Where's the party? Oh, that was a week ago.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that really is a Jacob thing. I don't want to offend people, so I'm going to be careful how much I say. But, you know, for the record, everyone, like, I don't know why I feel like I need to say this. Gabe's one of my best friends in the world, but like, he's Dwight from The Office. Gabe is Dwight from The Office.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
I'm laughing because I never thought about it that way, and as I said it, I realized how accurate it is.
Yeah. That's very accurate.
Where do we go from here? I don't even know.
I know.
Like, this is it's completely crazy and random. I don't know. Like, what the really cool thing with you is, I feel like your show is one of those things I could talk about so much that I've never talked about, but I don't know where to, like, I don't know what you're interested in, where to start. Usually I'm somebody that that needs direction, like give me a beer and point me in the direction of the bathroom and I'm good. So random stuff. Although speaking on that thread, you ever go to one of those bars that has a one-way mirror in the bathroom, so you're taking a piss at the urinal and you're seeing it out at the bar? It's the trippiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've never been to a bar like that.
There was one in town I grew up going drinking at right after college, and like I didn't know it, so I walked in, I'm looking out, and I pissed on the guy next to me because I was so I was so shocked that I went straight up and over.
How do you recover from that? Like, how do you not get your ass whooped for that?
Because it's in Jersey, so I go, bro. There, thankfully, I know how to hold my alcohol, and I don't normally like get super drunk at the bar. Fortunately for me, everybody else in that town doesn't know how to hold their shit together. So I will say this: it was, in high school, guys learn how to do the one hand unclasp, and this was the one hand zip, and run, zip and run. So, the greatest part about that town, though, was my uncle owned a club in that town, and it went from sushi bar during the evening to club at night. It was great. I had to pay extra. No.
You didn't get in for free. You paid extra.
I got in like once. It was a cool experience, but yeah. See, I go off on tangents. Like this is the thing. I want to say thank you because I very rarely get to have fun like this. It does get real serious with me too often.
Yeah.
Because that's sort of what's expected. Like I'm a guy that talks about mental health, so of course I'm going to talk about stuff. But like, like I told you, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff to dig to. I'm probably going to lose whatever credibility I have left by the end of this episode. But shit, yeah.
Can we talk about for a minute, like why in the hell comments are not showing up on the LinkedIn side?
I'm seeing them.
Really?
I don't know whether they're showing up. I don't know whether they're not showing up on Restream. But
see, I'm seeing them in Restream, but I am not seeing them in
the last one I'm seeing. Yeah, so I am actually. If you go to the Restream, yeah, I'm seeing them. I just saw. I see your comment when I scroll up in Restream and in LinkedIn.
That's crazy.
That being said, LinkedIn is trying to create their own third-party streaming software, which I hate, but that's another.
They're trying to create their own streaming software.
So I think I sent you this, but LinkedIn is beta testing Reels and vertical video. What I found out from somebody that works within LinkedIn is that they're actually trying to create an integrated software so that like you'd be able to do this in LinkedIn, but they're not going to because they don't know how, and honestly they're too finicky. And what I mean by that is like LinkedIn has a big issue with they have the attention span of a 2-year-old. And they do one thing and then go to the other and they go to the other. So I don't think they're going to invest that much time in it. They're very much, they try to be too on trend as opposed to looking and saying, well, what's going to work a year or 2 years from now? And that's ultimately, I think, one of their downfalls. But like, and I'm lucky. One of my very good friends just got promoted to senior executive editor, producer at LinkedIn. So she's in charge of all of it, and I usually get some pretty decent intel for what's going on. Yeah,
Yeah, Chuck, I would too. That was where I was just fixing to go next. Is okay. A lot of people bitch about not being able to go live natively from LinkedIn, but I wouldn't want to. Like, I like being able to broadcast to multiple channels.
So here's the problem, and I'm going to get a little technical
Yeah, go ahead.
for everyone. So you have API, and I know you know API, and Microsoft runs everything. So for the last 4 years, uh, all of these streaming platforms, these third party that were trying to stream into LinkedIn, were basically hung up in the legal process of being reviewed for the API access. And the
Mm-hmm.
API access allows you to actually see those LinkedIn comments
Mm-hmm.
natively within the platform. So
Mm-hmm.
like I'm an eCammer, so I would have to, so eCam doesn't have API access to LinkedIn. So then I have to use a Restream and basically set everything up at Restream. Restream works with eCam, and then I get comments through 3 different sources. So because of that, um, eCam would need the API access, and
Right.
Microsoft has held everything up in limbo.
Mm-hmm.
So now that this is happening, I'm realizing that that was done on purpose because LinkedIn is trying to figure out a way to basically monetize and say we could charge you more because we're building this in, but also we want native content. The problem is that they've been talking about taking advantage of the creator economy for forever, but they've never actually done anything that makes a
Right.
difference to any creators. Um,
Right. Or they roll out some dumbass, or even a good feature like take the pin comments that were, you used to be able
yeah,
to pin your comment, and then that was gone after 6 months or whatever.
yeah. Ed Stories was gone. Don't
Stories were gone.
don't
Yep.
even get me started on collaborative articles. I hate that almost as much as Hawaiian pizza. Um,
Yeah, those are terrible. I'm like, every time
yeah,
I've done one, and then I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I? This is stupid.
I got like 6. So here's what I did, and this is very symbolic of who I am, and you'll appreciate this. Um, I got really annoyed by them because people would put some really dumb stuff like, "Hey, if you write the sky is blue, people are going to agree with the sky is blue, but that doesn't mean you're providing anything." So I would go in and make a mockery of what people were saying and
Mm-hmm.
talk about how stupid it was, and then I got 6 collaborative top voices just by making fun of people. I think leadership voice, interview voice, like all this stuff, and all I was doing was just completely ragging the hell out of them. And then I got bored and found something else.
What do you think about like honestly, like what do you think about the LinkedIn top voice badges?
So the collaborative
Like
top
what?
voice badges don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Um, Here's what I would say. I There are some individuals that have gotten them that deserve them, and I'm not going to take that away.
Right.
But there's a heck of a lot of people, some of which are in the comments right now, that are putting out way better content than people that have
Mm-hmm.
gotten
I
multiple
agree.
top voice badges.
I
I've
agree.
put out much better content than most people that have gotten top voice badges, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm never, ever, ever going to get a top voice badge because I'm too freaking controversial and because I'm not willing to pander and kiss anyone's ass.
Mm-hmm. What's
Um,
up, Sultan?
you know, to be frank, I think there's 3 people in the comments that I believe 100% should. Kelly and Christy, I think
Mm-hmm.
that they should almost get it together. And then Tammy Trulio, who I don't know if you knew her or if you just saw her comments, but I believe that she should as well. And they're not going to, because they talk about difficult things,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, they're not. Again, they're not kissing anybody's ass.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. They're
Um,
putting out good
yeah,
content, not content that is the fluff, the stuff that the viral BS. You know what I mean?
I've done the viral stuff. I did a post that generated 100,000 views and 1,000 comments every week for 2 years straight. I never did a post that did 1 million views because, one, I don't need to. I know how to. I could do it in a heartbeat. But what's the point of that? And most people that do go viral don't know how to take advantage of it. If you're going to go viral, you better have everything in place so that you could have a spreadsheet, or you have a list of every single person that's reached out to you, and you could utilize it to benefit you. Otherwise, like, what's honestly the point?
Right.
So, like, yeah, I could go viral and I could do all that, but I'd rather choose to say no to 60,000 invitations, and I've turned down 60,000 invitations. And I'd rather be intentional about the growth of my network and my community. Because with me, every person I meet, there has to be a level of reciprocity, or I'm not going to connect with them. I have to know that I could add value to them, and somewhat vice versa, with the exception of Jacob Schwer. I'm always going to throw out a name. Chuck, the point that you brought up, that's a powerful one.
This one?
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, this is what I stand by. It's not about the comments. It's about the messages that you get saying, you know, you did something pretty special. And those are the ones I cherish. And those are the ones I come back to. And like, I have people that come back to me 3 years after the fact and say, hey, Dan, you still made a difference in what I was going through. And that's a big factor for me, because look, as somebody that has ADHD, that was bullied like hell, that has language processing disorder, I never felt like I could be beneficial to anybody. I never thought that I could provide value. So now seeing that, you know, feeling that level of acceptance and knowing that you made that difference, those are the things that keep you waking up in the morning and getting out of bed.
Yeah, for sure. And my content is not any kind of anything special as far as that goes, except for my ending. Well, I was going to say, except for my ending the stigma live streams. Whenever I do those, and I'm fixing to start those back up probably next month. I'm going to stop this one and switch over to ending the stigma. But when I do those, and then it never fails, man, I'll have a guest on, we'll have a good conversation. And then because I do this from my job, because I live out in the sticks and I still don't have freaking fiber out there yet. But my DMs are blowing up on the way home. Man, Chris, that guest, you don't know how much that meant to me. You don't know how much that spoke to me, or whatever. That's the kind of stuff like that. I agree with you on all of that. That's how I measure it, is those people that are like, this made a difference in my life today.
The only thing I'll disagree with you with is that the last couple of weeks. So let me first preface this by saying your show is not the easiest for me to watch, because you deal with some really hard, really difficult stuff. And at a certain point, it's hard for anybody to be in that presence at all times. And I am. That being said, your show may be one of the most important that I watch. And even just the last couple of weeks that you've had on in talking about people that are helping veterans and survivors and all these things, this is powerful. So even though you have that any stigma, you're still doing it on So I Did a Thing. I don't think that you may not be giving yourself as much credit as you should.
Yeah, and you're right. Now that you say that, because in the past I have normally kept a very clear line of drugs and prison belong on Ending the Stigma, and everything else belongs on So I Did a Thing. But I got to thinking, man, like, there are conversations I want to have with people now that I don't want to wait, because I usually swap them up like once every quarter or something. I don't want to wait to do that. So I've kind of blurred the lines a little bit on, because but it doesn't really matter, man. It's my show. You know what I mean? Like, it's my show, it's basically the same show with a different title. You know?
And honestly, one of the really cool things about your show is that, I've watched you for a long time, and I was there when you were doing all the stuff with Dana and everything, and hopefully she's doing well. That to me, you were trying to create a higher perceived value product.
I think
Now
so.
you're
Yeah.
having higher value conversations.
Yep. I agree. I agree 100%.
And we all go there because that's the learning path that we have
Mm-hmm.
in this business, if you want to call it a business. You learn and you grow. Like I'm trying to start up a new podcast. The reason I haven't yet is because I've realized if I'm going to do a podcast and I know how much work I put into it,
Mm-hmm.
there needs to be some financial restitution for me. Otherwise I can't look at my wife and be like, well, so you're doing this for free and you're spending how much time?
Right.
But the other factor there is, so I'm going to be doing it monthly. I already have sponsorship agreements with Ecamm and with Opus Clip and a couple of others. I'm going to be working with Fourth Wall, really great people. But the thing with it is that I'm going to be doing it monthly, so I have more time in between, and it allows you to market things. It allows you to, but also space things out.
Mm-hmm.
But I bring this up because when I thought about, well, what do I want to do for a podcast? Because I'm used to doing events, I'm not used to doing shows. And I thought about, well, I'm going to call it Mental Health Motivated. And the reason I'm going to do it is because I can talk about whatever the F I want, as
Mm-hmm.
long as the overarching theme is, well, how is this affecting your mental health? And how can we promote a more positive mental health outlook by the end of the show? That doesn't mean I'm giving clinical advice. It means if you're speaking down to yourself, I can say, hey, look, you're being too hard on yourself, or you're not giving yourself enough credit. And it brings that into your rear view, your purview. Okay, let's take a look at this. Screw politics. Truth is uneasy and ugly, but it is the only way to victory. Rough and journeys. Excuse me. Grow with others who can relate is huge. I'm going to assume that's a compliment to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
good. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to acknowledge her while you were talking.
No.
So you're good. You're good.
No. You're good. It's my ADHD.
Yeah.
So and I bring this all up and circle back because there's so many ways to get to a destination. It's just how do you choose? Oh, Cynthia. Oh, that's so sweet of you.
Thanks, Cynthia.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do too.
So Chris, I heard that you were a grand dragon in the K. I'm just
Come on, man. Stop it. Oh my God. This conversation took a turn for the worse.
I'm just messing around. I was wondering why you shaved your head. I'm not sorry, everyone. I had to. I had to give it a bit of brevity. No, I'm just kidding. Your friend is going to be so happy right now.
Yeah.
Your fishing buddy.
Yeah, and he hadn't even commented yet, so I don't even know if he's watching.
Yeah. Okay, that was a wrong comment to make. Okay, backtrack. We're going to delete that, everyone. We're going to start again. Hold on for a second. No. So, yeah, I don't know where to go from here. It's on you.
I don't either. You derailed the freaking train.
So, I mean, that's the thing about it. Like, so I'll tell you something. So about 2 years ago, I get a message from a friend of mine. She's an author, and she goes, Dan, I need you to interview somebody. And I said, well, who is it? What can I do? She goes, well, you've heard of the top shooting, right? I said, yeah. She goes, well, I'm in contact with this guy named Mark Talley, whose mom was killed in the top shooting. And I'm like, to make a long story short, I'm like, well, why do you want me to do this? I'm a white guy, like, but she trusted me. So I go ahead and do it. I'm expecting to be this like really serious conversation. right in the middle of it, my buddy, do you know John Graham?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So my buddy John, his mom is there, and I call her mom, and Mark turns around and he goes like this. Mrs. Graham, I'm in the need for I have an open job application out for a new mother right now. What do you think? And it was me and one other person doing the interview, and like those moments where like like we just had, where everything you think just completely shifts on its head, and I had to like there's not very much that could get me to shut up, and I had to turn around in my chair, and I'm like, did that just happen? So we have to sort of roll with the punches, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
But it
It's
can
37 and a half minutes in and Gabe still hadn't shown up.
Yeah, it's 37 and a half minutes in. You want to have some?
We should both text him.
Oh, that I wasn't even planning on texting him.
Oh, okay.
Hold on a second. Let's have some fun, y'all. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, you gonna FaceTime him? Yes. That punk's not going to answer, man.
Please leave your message for Gabriel Leal.
Hey, Cowshit. Where the hell are you? It's me and
Chris.
Oh yeah, he can't hear me because the headphones are on. It's currently 40 minutes into our show. You already lost a bet, just like I expected. If you find time to get your spine out of Yvette's purse by the end of the show and hop on, we would love to see you. Make sure you also check out the first 10 minutes of the show and check out my background and go from there. We love you and hate you. And yeah, dude, how are you going to get married if you can't freaking show up? I'll talk to you later. And there we go.
They're not live tonight, are they? What's tonight? Monday? They're not live on Mondays.
Oh shit, they are live. It's Monday. You're right. They're live on Tuesdays. Yeah. No. That I enjoyed that a little too much.
That was hilarious.
Well,
that was absolutely hilarious.
It would be really great to do like a remake of Prank Anchors, but just calling Gabe.
Just like every night, just call Gabe.
We could like do a toll booth Willie from Adam Sandler when he's actually funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, what? It was the eclipse. I don't know if we can blame it on the eclipse, Cynthia. Like, not with Gabe. We could try to, but anybody that knows him knows.
No, I mean, Gabe is to being late what Jewish women are to going shopping. I could say that because I'm Jewish. Kelly, if you're still watching, what the heck do we talk about now? You give us something. You give us something to talk about. You were Cynthia. What do you? It's frightening. Here's the funny thing. You expected this. I didn't. I actually thought I'm like, we're gonna stay on the rails. We're actually gonna talk about something. People are gonna be surprised. And I know you were.
Hey,
There's
there
Mark.
he is. Yeah, there he
There's
is
Mark.
right there.
Yeah.
Man, dude, were your ears burning? Were you here the whole time that Dan was talking about you, or did you just like stumble into this?
By the way, not to bring it back to a serious note, but Mark is incredible. He took what happened and he started a nonprofit. So Mark, toss in Agents for Advocacy, the link, but he does a lot of really great stuff out of Buffalo. Kelly, yeah. I know we're both gonna get messages from Kelly afterwards. But Kelly, what do we talk about? Because I'm telling you, if I was a betting man, Chris was right on par.
You were messaging me a couple days ago, and you're like, if I was really the kind of guy that I am in the comments, Gabe and I wouldn't be best friends, because you rip on Gabe just like you just did,
yeah,
and say the most random stuff in the comments, and I was like, okay, that's cool, and then here we are.
Yeah, I mean, the closest, look, if there was a real life adaptation for the Beavis and Butthead movie, it would be Gabe and I starring in it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would be whichever the smarter one is.
Let's just flip a coin at this point.
I am Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole.
I might have to make this a yearly thing with you too. Like, I have Gabe on at least once a season where we just shoot the breeze and don't talk about anything at all. Or maybe we do. You don't ever know where it's going to go. You might have to be a recurring guest on this.
And I'm good with that. My thing is I'm so tired right now between the job search and between everything. It's at a certain point you just reach your breaking point and you just I don't want to say mouth fart, but mouth vomit is a more accurate thing. Look, Kelly, let's be real. Crystals don't help people. Eclipses do not help people. We can't look. The only thing you could really blame something on is constipation.
Yeah, I was going to say caused by climate change. That is a naturally occurring phenomena, or not even a phenomena. It's just a natural occurring solar event that happens every however many hundreds of years, just in the way everything's rotating. All these conspiracy, and I'm a right-wing conspiracy theorist to the core. And I'm whatever, you can hate me or love me for it, but I'm sitting here looking at all these conspiracy theorists over the eclipse, and I'm just it's a naturally occurring thing. It's gonna happen. How are you gonna say it's a conspiracy?
I don't know. I'm not that's the one thing I was because I even said to Gabe, I'm going on. I just saw the last comment.
Yeah, I'll message her later. Sorry, Jenny. It's kind of all over the place.
Ooh. So, yeah. That makes me actually feel a little bit bad, but I'm not Christian. And being Jewish, I can't go to hell, so all good. Yeah, that does make me feel a little bit bad though. But yeah, the entire point is that we can't blame things just because we choose to want to use it as an excuse. If I screwed up, I screwed up, but I'm not going to call it an eclipse. But like I said, the only change is if I'm constipated and I got to go to the bathroom real bad, then yeah, I'm going to be speeding up. Yeah, I mean, Y2K,
Right.
like, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna delve into any conspiracy theories because you're talking about we're sitting here as a right-wing conspiracy theorist and somewhat of an independent, moderate, left-leaning.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but she's like, yeah, I don't know where to go from here. I'm really just talking to for the sake of continuing the conversation and trying to figure out like I'm trying if I buy myself enough time, will something smart come out of my mouth? Um the older gentleman at the local store was saying we weren't going to have any self-service. Said you have self-service tonight. I don't know you. Sorry, Jesse. I don't know because this dude sitting with me lives out in the boonies. So does he have self-service at night? I don't know.
uh, yeah, I do. It's not great because I live out in the boonies, but I have cell service at night. I just don't have fiber internet at night or anytime for that matter.
It
It's coming. Like they've run it. It just hadn't been connected to the houses yet. Like I can see it running down underneath the power line down my road, but yeah.
I mean, yeah. Chuck knows a fiber guy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But the thing with living out in the boonies is like, I don't even have an option on like what power electricity electricity provider I have.
Yeah.
Like it's one. It's the electric co-op. It's one, and they're the ones putting in the internet. So
Yeah, I worked for years in telecommunications and I saw like I'm talking probably like 2015, 2016 where people still weren't even getting 2.4 megabit speeds. Like it was crazy. Really, really crazy. Um I'll give it to Time Warner. They were better than AT&T, but that's picking a bigger rock.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where do we go from here, Chris?
I don't know. It might be a good time to just end it. We've already been going for 50
I mean,
minutes.
I don't care. I don't want to give anybody some bad stuff. The only thing that's really keeping me going right now is wondering if I stay another minute, will Gabe show up?
Yeah, I think that's a lost cause.
Yeah, no, it's totally.
And also, I think if the longer, or if we go ahead and shut it down, if he does show up, he'll be late. Like show's over.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I feel bad because like I want to, and I'm enjoying having the conversation, but I don't like talking about nothing. I'm not Seinfeld.
Yeah, no, right. A show about nothing.
God. I remember watching Seinfeld growing up, and
Yeah,
I tried to watch it for a long time, and then I just no.
See, I
Parks,
still love
yeah.
Seinfeld.
Parks and Rec for me is my ultimate. That and then God hate me for what I'm about to say. Married with Children may be my all-time favorite show.
Really?
I grew up on it. So I grew up on Dice Clay, Al Bundy, Richard Pryor. Like these were the people that my dad had me listening to in the car.
Yeah.
Meatloaf. I mean, that's a different genre, but so that's just what I grew up on. It's funny how now I work in women's rights and equality. Yeah, I grew up on all of this really horrible stuff. And I can still recite most of Dice's rhymes from 25, 35 years ago. Like, and the only one that's somewhat okay to say is Kelly is oh, Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her dog a bone. She bent over, Rover took over, now she's got a bone of her own. That's the closest. That's the closest we come to a PC one. in today's
Right.
day and age.
Right.
Seinfeld's not the best, Julie.
I think it is. I love it.
I can't, like, I just can't. I mean, it's not as bad as Friends. I'll forever go down and saying Friends is my least favorite show of all time. But what?
Oh, dude, I love Friends.
Oh God, I hate it so much. I still so okay. Worst shows of all time for me are Sex and the City, Friends, and anything with Kevin James.
I liked him in King of Queens, man. Anything else I didn't really care for.
I mean, he was okay in King of Queens, but like, how often can we look at It's Pat before we get tired of looking at It's Pat?
Yeah.
Like, just that sort of silly sense of humor never. I think they call it cringe now. It was just never a fan. Now I got to meet Matthew Perry. He was drunk at the time, and that's not speaking badly upon him. You know, God rest his soul. But I did meet him. He was not in his best shape. Nothing bad to say about any of them individually. I just hated the show.
Yeah.
I hated it. But look, don't take it from me. I grew up with, and you're 3.5 years older than me. I'm going to be 40 in August. You know, I grew up with, what was it on Friday night? Not Nick at Night, but whatever.
TGIF.
TGI, yeah. I grew up with TGI,
Yeah.
to TGIF
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. Favorite episode of Married with Children? Probably, okay, I'm not saying this because I'm Jewish, but probably the episode where Santa crashes at the Lakeside Mall, Kelly. And yeah, that's probably my favorite episode of all time. And the fact that I know Lakeside Mall and can recall the name of the actual mall,
right,
tells you something. I don't get to watch a lot of TV now. Like, now I watch Disney Plus more than anything else. I don't have a choice.
Yeah, with kids in the house, I'm sure you don't.
Yeah, and when I'm not doing that, like, my wife will watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine to relax, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, most of the time I'm just, I don't know. I don't stop working. So there's always something to do, and I just need to why now. So what about you, Kelly? What's your favorite episode? I'm going to be on with Kelly and Christy. I forget which date, but that was a big one for me to do.
Yeah.
They're just remarkable individuals.
Yeah, they're cool people. And they have some cool guests.
They do. They very much do. Although, depending on the guest, y'all, make sure that you don't ask for coffee. Take it from somebody that has made that mistake before.
Don't ask for coffee when the company is not coffee.
Yeah. I know it's not probably appropriate to use the term douche, but I felt like such a douche after I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to lie. I started following the Black Rifle Company page on LinkedIn years ago because I thought that's who they were.
Yeah.
And and then I was like, oh, wait, that's different people altogether.
No, and that was the thing. Like, I'm usually really careful, but, you know, the way that it's labeled, I was just being really quick with it. And then And the worst part about it is like they're trying to help. They're doing ugh, they're doing an incredible job. Like, so I don't want. Technically, Kelly, I called him a grand wizard. Oh, look, it's just the beard. That's all. But my point is like they're doing such great work. I don't want
Yeah,
to misrepresent
sure.
anybody. Oh, okay. I think I'm done for the night. I need a drink.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully this hasn't been a complete waste of time.
No.
Like
We still have 24 people here, dude. I don't know how we
Yeah.
held on there, but we did.
I mean, I only invited 1,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, if this were like 5 hours earlier, I would be like, okay, people, now let's say something sentimental clues. No, fuck that. Oh shit, I did it again. Chris, I promise you that's not intentional. But I'm too freaking tired. Like,
I understand. Yeah.
15 months on, searching for job, twin kids, trying to do everything I can. Like, you get tired, and everybody gets tired. So it's at some point. But I guess the thing I would say before you decide to wrap is, and let me ask you this, because you're having these guests on, you're doing all this work. Is there some way that you prefer for your audience to help support your community? Like, is there something all of us can do that would be a direct reflection and make you happy?
I don't know, man. I think just everybody showing up every week is just like huge to me. Like, it's very humbling to have people show up every week, supporting in the comments. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Well, if you do, let me know, because the way that you're giving back and the way that you're opening up conversations and really opening people's eyes, because, like, we come from completely separate upbringings, and you've created an awareness with me that I didn't have before. And that's a blessing, because anytime you could learn something new and you could educate yourself, that's big. So anytime that I can or we can support you, just let us know, because
I appreciate that.
I think you'd have a wealth of people that would be right there waiting in line.
Yeah. Cool, man. I appreciate that, for real. And I will, if I think of something.
And then Cynthia brings up Kramer.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just fixing to pop that up.
See, once again, I see how long did you last, and I'm thinking about Gabe.
Oh man! All right, y'all. We've been going an hour, and that's about 15 or 20 minutes longer than I normally go, which is absolutely fine. But I'm tired, like Dan, and I still have to drive home in a tornado watch weather. So
why didn't you do this from home?
Because I don't have internet.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, I have a hotspot, and you can just imagine how good it is right now with bad weather.
Yeah. All right. Well, you be safe.
Appreciate you coming on, hanging out, talking smack.
Yeah, and y'all, if you want to support Chris, even though he said he didn't have anything, every time one of his events comes up, please share it out. Send it to somebody that you think could find benefit. Send it over to Christian Mingles.
Negative. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No. I was saying send the show over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would not. I don't know your situation like that. So yeah, but be good. Do you need me to stick around, or am I good to hop off?
You're good, man. Because as soon as this is over, I'm leaving too.
All right. Be good, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Bye.
Y'all have a good one. Bye.